for the thing to hit. Waiting for the internet to do its. Okay, this is. Check and make sure I'm live. Okay. I guess you can say these are like, there's like daily updates on the Earth plane or alien update or something like that. I feel like I'm in Afghanistan. I'm like we're occupying Baghdad. Some third world country or planet. Can't connect to the locals, even if the locals are nice, you still really can't connect to them. Not really, sort of. So you just have to, it's like being in a ground crew on a foreign soil. Almost feels like it's. I guess you can say I've always thought that just the words don't usually. It's usually not identified that way. Let's put it that way. You just do a channeling, whatever, blah blah blah. But it is pretty much like a galactic update, technically. It's like it's not much of an update either. It's like, here we are, still. What's the progress? Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, the locals are. They do what they do best. Yeah, where's home? Can't remember. It's definitely not here. Yeah, well, anyway, that's perfect. Speaking of alien ambassadors, Priscilla's here. Here to tear down the background. Here for her, let's see what she's got going on. The other thing is like for like feeling more of this of for those that are like dog owners, there's different ways of looking at it. Some are just companionship, but I think it's also, obviously helping heal through the propaganda, healing from toxic, energies, being programmed. Or some are just showing that they're a dog. And they're good at being programmed. Penicillin comes to mind on that one. I guess she's like a little chihuahua then, in human form. That would make sense. What the fuck? That makes sense. Yeah. There has been a lot more UFO sightings. Sign of things to come. Of course, they're not going to talk about it publicly. They're just going to call it drones. And the drone stuff has been picking up a lot of attention, though. So, shutting down the airport in, I forget where it is. I can't even think right now. It's been a long day. Yeah, my life's been like, I'm ready for October. Jeez. Oh yeah, today was D-Day. It certainly was. I'm still recovering from it. But yeah, it's all behind me now. But man, I'm still kind of recovering from past 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been a pain in the ass. But either way, I'm ready for what's to come. Wherever the 30th is here. I'm assuming something will occur. Of course, something is happening all the time, but maybe, I don't know. We'll find out. Nobody knows anything as usual, so we're just sitting here blind and just, making the best of it. But yeah, UFO energies I've been picking up a lot recently, and are going. It's going to be. Yeah, you recall obviously drones or just but yeah, shutting down an airport. It's a big deal. It's Denmark, I think. Copenhagen. I can't remember. I'm too tired. I shouldn't even be doing this right now. I'm still recovering from yesterday or today or whatever to call it. So, but yeah, it's like an open secret, but not really revealing itself. So it just shows that whatever is coming in, they're involved with it for sure. Not that we see anything really happening just yet, but I would assume we'll know it when it happens. And more sightings will definitely increase when the world gets really weird. It probably won't be reported on. I mean, maybe as a drone or something, but probably won't be. You'll see it. Maybe you see it more if you're looking for it, but they probably won't get mainstream anything as the world gets really weird going into next year. But even this year, I feel like we're going to some kind of transition that's having a hell of a time doing something. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. So, I had to go back to the people that own dogs. I guess people that own fish too. They want to be independent. But I guess we're kind of we are in an aquarium. We are in a reality. And it's interesting. I heard I think it was a Joe Rogan thing about. I never mentioned him about some guy was using with a VR, and his mind was thinking he was like playing tennis or something, and he felt like he was there or trying to grab rackets, or I forget when he took the VR. I forget how it worked, but if you took the VR off and you still felt like he was there or something like that. But he felt like, like we're being programmed. This is a physical reality, which, yeah, pretty much. So, but it still has all its physicality, though. It has its own DNA structure, you can say. But yeah, you can say it's all still non-physical, but still we're programmed into, our consciousness is programmed into this as a physical matter. Because the alien beings can manipulate it and all that. Because they go through their own version of it, so it's just part of existence. Yeah, it's just a big game. Of course, here it's so many are, society is plugged into the toxic nature. Not to beat that to death, but it's too dangerous to do everything. Kids are in danger. Well, it's a wake up call also. To sometimes it's a hard wake up call for some parents to realize, if their kids do get, it's not good, abducted, but it is a wake up call. Yeah, this is a dangerous world, and they can only see it first. Of course, some go into the victim side of it. They're not really seeing the larger aspect of it, and that's kind of the point. It's just seeing, yeah, it's a dangerous world. You don't have to let it affect you as much as others do, but some need to go through because they're not fully waking up to. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing here? I mean, it's like, why do you guys let this world become the cesspool that it is? Of course, obviously, it's it's a contract, but as you slowly come out of it, of course, there'll be less abductions, there'll be less everything over time. But it's also the human gets smart too. I guess it depends on who it is, obviously, right? Because many are not interested; they just play victim and this and that. God, but that's also part of this whole without manipulation spiritual awakening, because you don't hear about these spiritual yahoos that are out there that are manipulating people about the aliens and all that and talk, and trying. The idea is to deprogram oneself. Instead, they're programming people. Even the younger cult leaders that are here talking about the SSP and all, they're just programming people to keep them confused. Oh, we're helping you with alien knowledge, but they're actually, like I said, they're disconnecting you from yourself. So they're like terrorists. Seriously, they're going after your soul. They're going after you if you don't know yourself, and they're giving you a bunch of alien propaganda to keep you lost and confused. Of course, most don't want to hear it, and they're not quite ready to hear it, and so on. It's like almost like a soul hijacking. So, the very few that can see it just have to just continue your path and not what. Just do your thing, and you put the energy out there for others to figure things out. But obviously, men are not into that just yet. So they'd rather be entertained. They've been programmed to be entertained. Yeah, it's gross. It really is. Yeah, that's the thing about you going through your awakening, how disgusting how spiritual groups look. They're just horrible. I mean, there's some good there, but it's just like an attack on the soul. Of course, some are aware they're even doing it. They're so screwed up how much garbage in their energy field. But either way, they know how to manipulate and manifest, but they can't heal themselves as a life dependent on. They call them a spiritual teacher. So, you know, awakening is rough. But like with human abductions or child abduction stuff, or even child abuse, as you evolve out of this, you don't want that program. But you can see those that are going through that programming. Either they're living it, they've been abducted in previous lifetimes, they haven't quite figured out they can release it. There's different, and like I said, it sounds bad, but it seems like when kids get abducted, it's a wake up call on the parents to realize what kind of world you're in. Or if the kids go through some kind of, something that's bad through school or abuse, whatever it is, some kind of child abuse through school or whoever, it's a wake up call for them to, yeah, it's messed up. And some of the kids that go through those abuse situations, some of them are star seeds, of course, to get their families to, wake up, basically. It just shows you how difficult it is to come out of, to break free of all this. So, talk about a challenge for the soul, right? Try to wake up your family, but you go through all this physical abuse as a kid, and it's like, okay, hey, mom and dad, have you figured anything out yet? No. Damn. So, yeah, it's rough. So, yeah, it's a wake-up call for the sometimes the soul has so much darkness, they attract abuse and so on, so have no self-love. There's that also. And rejecting that energy and allowing more self-love to come through is not as easy as it sounds. Some are obsessed with darkness, and some of that's being like abducted by demonic beings and things like that in the past, possessed. And it just, like I said, I'm being called negative and whatever. It's like, God, man. So when you're living in a fear-based society, it's been programmed by every religion, every fear-based, creation. So it just shows we are in some kind of awakening path. It's like it's time for things to start kicking into gear. Yeah, it's time to get smart. For those that are coming out of the programmed consciousness, it just shows how many are easily swayed into the system. You just can't let it get to you. Just ignore it. Yeah, because it's not your game. It's theirs, but it's bad. And it's just, it's different. Like I said, some need to just go through it because they're not at the level of releasing it. Some are just has their own darkness. They have no self-love. Some become very arrogant and they rather just, they like to refuse to, break free, break the shackle. So, I don't know if they're going to reincarnate here again. Who knows? They could. It's hard to say on that one. Yeah, it's complicated. Oh yeah, that's right. For the cats, some people own cats. It is even for the owner to be more independent and sometimes even isolated from other people. It doesn't mean they're not being programmed, but they're isolating. Eventually, maybe they'll snap out of the programming. Possibly, it all depends. Or they just like the independence. They just want to just cut away from, like if you have like a toxic family, having a cat is another way of just healing from that toxic energy. It's almost like it's like a fruit roll-up or something like that. I wonder if I'm getting that from them. It's like having, it's like, I guess cats are like candy. Like it's energy candy, something like that. It's just there to, something like that. Tootsie Roll, that's what I'm getting, something like that. It's just something that's just to spice up your energy field. Think of it that way. Just to, especially when you're like, I just use for like if you have a toxic family and you have or a dog there too, dog or cat, would just even with a dog can be also independent too. I feel to some level, but of course there's a program. Of course that's part of the program. Program it can be good too. It can have it doesn't have to. It can be trained to be better. Can be trained to protect and all that. So it's not a bad thing. There's some good parts to it also. Sometimes you're learning from the dog or just companionship is part of it, but there's a lot more to it than that. So it's just, obviously, like, where it's a family member incarnated as a dog or a cat, but focusing more on the canine, because canines are usually more, I think those are more popular within family groups. I could be wrong. Well, because like having a member of course, also animals help those that want to have kids, helps them get used to taking care of somebody. So, or if it's taking care of someone that's old, I guess. I like that too, but either way. Also, responsibility. So, because we're basically a bunch of dogs when it comes down to it. We take orders. We try to improve ourselves sometimes, but there's still a lot of programming. So we have, and cats are like, F off. so yeah. If we were just more cat people, we'd probably just lasering everybody with their eyes or something, or doing something crazy, or sleeping all day, something. Just laser somebody and then go back to sleep or something. I don't know. So either way, but the cat energies. That's like to break away from, like I say, a toxic environment. Dogs are there for that too, but cats are definitely really just cut through that toxic nature, which makes sense, right? But that's what the isolation's there too. And some people that have cats, I think, are known to not go out that much or socialize. But that's not always a bad thing. It's not, you want to be programmed like the majority, So that's to get out, but, sometimes when the human's still not quite there understanding themselves, sometimes just isolating just for the best, even if it is kind of sucks. But, look at the majority are just devouring each other. Well, that's obviously the crowds, the society crowd is, those that are outgoing can be part of the devil's playground. They put this fake persona, even the spiritual community has a fake positivity. And it's all just, debauchery, garbage, basically. They're bragging that, they're just very two-faced. That's everywhere. But, that's a big part of society where they're being social and just a big cesspool. So it just easy to be programmed. Yeah, some rather be accepted by others and be programmed, become an NPC, and just be part and go into the archon consciousness and get devoured by society and just it's by the numbers. Do as you're told. Do as you're expected. It's almost like being in the army. When you think about it. Because society's kind of tell you what to do, right? Technically. You need to be social, you need to have this fake persona, you need to go to church, yada, yada, yada. It's like the army. But it's social. It's a social war, right? Makes sense. And breaking out of it, obviously, it's not, it's not great, but it's better than being that, It's very isolating, but at least you're not part of the, you're not one of the locals sucking on each other. Going nowhere. And that's, like I said, that's the social, and you can see the social media. It's like a devil's playground there. It's very toxic, because they haven't let go of their demons yet. Of course, you mentioned this. Obviously, they start crying because they like it. Some do. Others have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. But some like the devil, infiltrating their energy field and being a parasite and all that. I just enjoy it, and just you go against it. Oh, you're the villain. You're negative. You're this. You're that. Yeah, it's funny how they use negativity. It's funny how they use positivity and negativity. How it's twisted. It's a freaking or you're being manipulated by a devil consciousness, or just have it within yourself. And tell somebody, someone tells you that you're toxic, and just, oh, you're being negative. What the fuck's wrong with you? So it's pretty messed up. Yeah, the devil's playground has has, like I said, a twisted way of looking at things, and that's why society is the way it is. And as society starts to break, you can still be social. You just don't have to be part of all the cesspool. Like my boss is very, very fake. Putting on a fake persona, with the friends, but he had a double life of being a piece of garbage, basically. So yeah, it's disgusting, and it was ignored by family members that kind of knew about it, but so fake. Yeah, just garbage. It's a garbage human. Just nasty thing. But that's very common in the social environment. It's not always, but the infiltrators. Not all of them are like. Some are just so freaking naive. They're well off. People, some that are somewhat wealthy or middle class or higher middle class, they're just naive. Don't know anything. NPCs. This is all it's a lot to take in. This is when you're trying to be social and be part of the norm and check all the boxes, and sometimes I was just trying to be normal, as they call it, and that's at least they can hopefully keep some of that toxic shit out. But every once in a while they have to have some kind of wake up call. So, or just live in a box and just reincarnate over and over again until they're ready to snap out of it. Like I said, ignorance is bliss. If you can live a decent life and just play it safe, so be it. But this awakening is not playing it safe, obviously. Not really. Doesn't mean you have to, do anything harmful to yourself, but it might feel harmful because you're breaking out of the energy of others, their manipulation, everything, not going by their brainwashing. It's a harsh wake up call because you're just not part of all the society's BS, basically. And a good portion of society is decent, but obviously there's also a lot of toxic energies, and so can't describe everything, but either way. So I guess those that are living a halfway decent life, playing it safe, had a decent career, and just live a quiet, boring, mundane existence, and and maybe most of them they just do the religions. They're not into the spirit. Even those that do the spiritual stuff, there's only so far they can go. The metaphysics. There's only so far they'll go. Spirit guides, positivity. That's about it. And I know everything. There's only so far I can go. Demonic beings possessing people can get somebody. It's like, okay, that's as far as I'm going to go on that one. And toxic energies, and find out that your spouse is not exactly helping you, more like sometimes soul sucking you or vampiring your energies. I was aware of it. You have to heal your own insecurities and stuff like that. So really breaking out of the matrix is truly breaking out of it. It's like you're taking the headset off. And it's isolating, but at least you see reality for what it is. And it's just not, it sucks, but you just reflect it back to them. That's their crap. And it's crap, because you want things to happen for yourself that's, loving and things. But, when you're not living in a loving society, it's all fake. You want that? Want that NPC garbage? Or do you want more of its genuine energy? So you're there to attract genuine connections. Yeah. What if there aren't any? That's the problem. It's like, okay, someone genuine. It's like, well, crickets. Yeah, stop complaining. But it can't happen. When is it? Well, you have to get to a certain level. I don't know. And then they look at your life. It's like, God, your life sucks. They don't want to live that. They want to live that NPC crap. Want to cry about someone that died 10, 20 years ago, whatever the hell it is, and worship the dead. Whatever. they're not ready to break out of the matrix, and you can see it. And it might be harsh to you energetically, but it's like whatever. Yeah, you go be you though. Go be the NPC, forgettable incarnation or whatever it is. But that's their process. Yeah, it's weird. It's yeah, who knows? I get the full grasp of everything, of course. Um, yeah, it's like a page in a book. It's one day at a time. But if you want to break out of all this, it can be done. It's just that, as many know, it's just not as sugar and spice as you'd like it to be. It can be to some level. It's like you want to be genuine with yourself, and it attracts genuine energies. It can be done. Just yeah, that's where the patience comes in. Of course, you have to release a lot of the programming yourself, and whatever it is, and just there's different. Not everything's going to be clear, of course. It's just not. But I think sometimes, like when you're trying to connect to somebody new or other people, like a group or something, so they look at your life and it's like, damn, I'd rather be an NPC. Fuck that shit. I get a spiritual NPC. Hey, look at my tattoo, and I get high all the time, and that's as far as I'm gonna go, and be programmed and be toxic and whatever the fuck it is, or ignore my shadow self and so on, or try to heal the shadow self, but not really. Have vices not proud of, get drunk trying to forget your vices, and so on. And you just start detecting all that shit. Doesn't mean you have to go into everyone's energy field and all that, but some things you just know. But that's breaking out of the system. And whereas obviously there's pushback from the lower dimensions and all that, because that gives them, they're having fun. But you still have fun here somehow. Keep your sanity, because it is very much like the Matrix, like in the movies, sort of like you're unplugging all the plugs and all that. It's kind of like that. You're unplugging the programming. Luckily, you're not waking up in some slush, bathtub, and not eating porridge. McDonald's instead or whatever. Even some of that stuff can be good. Probably at times, it's not always bad. It's not ever. You just gotta know what the hell you're doing. You just gotta know what you're. It's all. Yeah, if you're not consuming a lot of it, it should be all right. It's just little things here and there. But yeah, really, unplugging out of the system it can be rewarding, of course, but obviously there's a lot of darkness there, because your illusion of how you saw reality is breaking up. Doesn't mean it's bad for it's just weird. It's just I don't know, just you see society. I think a big part of it, just see society and how much it sucks. There's good parts, but it's a lot of like, damn, what's wrong with you people? It's like, damn, that's it. Not to say your own self is perfect, but it's like a good portion of society is how easily it is to just suck in the environment. That's part of the growth phase, but breaking out of it can also, I think it has its lighter side, of course, at some point, and the aliens at some point, possibly, whenever it's necessary, if it helps your growth. If it's just to say, oh, look, I had connections, I can brag about it. I'm not sure if that's helpful. It's if it helps you evolve into what you're trying to evolve into. It's not it's weird. It's people like to have experiences and all that. Some are bragging about their experiences, like on podcasts. It's fun. Some are very innocent. Others are just psychopathic ego. There's that. And that's the thing, that you break out of the matrix, you start seeing who you thought was your heroes, and they're not so much that, and they're kind of gross, and it gets more and more. It's kind of like seeing music and seeing the other side of it. It's like the musicians, that they have good, like even some of the podcasts, spiritual stuff can be very helpful, but then you see who's delivering some of it, or the ones that are running it, and it's like, damn, kind of the same thing. Like you see they're putting out something decent sometimes, maybe little nuggets here and there. micro nuggets. It's mostly programming, but whatever. And you just see who's the musician and or the podcast or whatever, and just or secret space program, or whatever. And you see it's just a bunch of garbage coming from them. So it's like these rock musicians are just life of debauchery and all that, right? So it's similar. Trying to be a cult leader and shit like that. So anyway, but yeah, it's just it's day by day, and the aliens are, if you're you're going into more of a multi-dimensional consciousness. Obviously doesn't mean it has to operate a spaceship or anything yet. The idea is unplugging from the system slowly. Like yourself has to, you can't just pull out of the Matrix bathtub and start pulling all the plugs. I think even there in the Matrix, wasn't that, even when he unplugged everything and went to that ship that was all messed up, but then they took him into the simulation and still gave him more of a wake-up call, right? So you kind of have to go through that, yeah. So people don't believe it, and as you're going through you're breaking down the programming, you see more and more that it's hard to understand it, but the more you want to understand it, just disconnecting from the system. Yeah, it's not all lost or anything. It's just you just see more of the programming in society and how few there is out there that's unplugged. Damn. Yeah, it's lonely out there. But it doesn't mean you can't attract like-minded energies. Usually they're not ready, obviously, but you never know. Anyway, that's it for now. Obviously we're going into a new era. All right, I gotta go. All right, blessings.